What's up, everybody? See if this works. It says we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Let's see who we got here. What's up, Agent? What's up, Drone? How you guys doing? Everybody can hear me, right? Somebody wants to see a haka again. What's up, Michael? How you doing? It is a hot day today. Hello, Hot Rod. Yes, I did like that small video of yours. It was very nice. Loud and clear. That's good. You will do a haka on your channel for you if you hit me with one. Deal? Brother, I'm not a haka person. Save your time. Do you have to use a phone with the Eco drone? The Eco or the Evo drone? You don't have to use a phone with the Evo drone. You have a small screen right over here. Let me start this up. You have a small screen right over here, and there's a button up here. It says display. If you hit that display button and you're connected to your drone, it will show you what you see, just like it would with the phone. With the phone, it's just easier because you get the app, the Autel app that comes with it, and you have all the functions they can use with it. I contributed to the sticker silliness. Huh? Stickers. I don't have stickers, guys. I don't want to do this whole super chat sticker thingy yet. Yes, see, I told you Da Vinci would help you out, Hot Rod. I definitely told you. Agent, hasn't anyone told you not to buy overpriced stickers? I utilize stickers only if I want to say something and I want them to realize that I did say something. Because sometimes they're so busy in their own thing, they don't really react to the chat. I mean, if you have that many people in there, do you have to register every drone with the FAA in the United States? Once you fill out that registration form, you will pay $5, and that $5 will be good for any drone that you have. There will be a number. That number you print out, and you can stick it to any drone that you have, and it's good for 3 years. That's why I respect you. Thank you very much. I respect anybody. I mean, come on, man. We're Samoans. We're always happy people. So, let's cut to the chase. 2.50. We had 2.50 with new stuff that came in, which was pretty much right here. And it brought us pretty much like the smart orbit function, and the smart orbit function lets you do all these fancy things. The issue with the smart orbit function that plenty of people already had was that it's not necessarily holding the point on dot. Like, it's not centered. It's off by a few feet, but it still creates this. I don't know. You guys can see the little mouse right here. So it makes this small circle right here. It does this circle right there. It doesn't stay directly on that point. So it makes this tiny little circle right over here. Right there. I think you guys can see it now. So it does that. And the in smart orbit, the obstacle avoidance works. So I tried it. It stays on unless you turn it off, which I don't suggest if you just do like a half rotation, or if you're not sure that there might be something in the way. I definitely suggest leave the obstacle avoidance on for smart orbit if you're not sure if it might clip something, because obstacle avoidance still works and it still has that 30 feet range and sometimes like 25 feet range. She will stop and she will tell you that that thing is pretty much not lined up at this point, and it will stop the rotation so you won't end up banging into something while it's in that automated mode. And it's going to tell you that either the obstacle is there, or it's going to tell you that you're too close or too far away. And it finds a stupid reason to just stop, and it hovers right there in place. You have to switch back in the top left corner to manual mode in order to be able to move it, because once she starts hovering, then she stays there unless you switch over to manual flight. So that's pretty much what I've seen. Issues with 2.50, what I've seen so far were people had problems where the drone wasn't hovering. I had the same thing happening to me in the beginning. I actually re-rolled all my drivers, and I was in a Facebook group. I was in one of my videos. I had a small conversation with somebody. I forget already who was, but somebody told me that actually the versions that come up with the Autel version. Let's see if I can pull it up on my phone, the Autel app, and it gives you a rundown what version is actually running at this point in the general information, I believe. Was it about? Nope. There's somewhere where it tells you what is going on with the app and which already a firmware device not connected. Okay. So, but it does show you all the firmware versions. So now, even if you downgrade to 2.3.3 or before that, and you do a factory reset, you'll end up having the very same versions again. Why is that dirt on my controller? What is this? So, oh, and are we still there? Did I just yank out the wire? No, no. And it does not downgrade from certain versions. So I still had that hovering issue until I did a gimbal calibration and I did a compass calibration. After that, the hovering issue sort of like faded away. It was gone after that. Okay, I probably missed out on all this chat right now. Use a phone? No, you don't have to use a phone. Okay, that's why I respect you. I did a remix of the sticker song for Ken. Drone worship. I just yanked on my wire. I hope everything is still working. I'm sorry you spent time on that, Agent. Okay, let's talk about some cool stuff. Yeah, let's talk about my chat. There is an issue already. Yes, there are issues with that 2.50. I've seen on plenty Facebook groups a lot of issues coming up with people having issues with hovering, smart orbit not engaging. Somebody else said something. Shucks, I can't remember it. Thank you for the information. I'm looking at buying the EVO 2 6K. You will not regret it, but I'm not sure if I should go with the 4K and save a little money. That's solely up to you. I like the EVO 2 6K simply because you can downsample, you can punch into certain areas where you don't have loss of quality. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit all my footage. All my videos you see on my channel are all with DaVinci Resolve. I recommend DaVinci Resolve, especially because you can have a free version, which is almost like the full version, but it doesn't have branding on it or a logo or whatever, unless they changed it. But I used DaVinci Resolve way back then, the first time, and I used the free version. And 2 months later, I bought the standalone version of DaVinci Resolve. It comes with all the updates. I haven't run the last 3 updates because I read somewhere that people had issues rendering, and I don't want to run into render issues because I have to pop out videos every so often. And I recommend the 6K, and of course the rugged bundle and that comes with it, and multiple batteries, as you can see here. You will not regret it. And 6K is pretty much the max that I would go, especially for my computer. If you do go with 6K or 8K, you have to make sure that you have a system that actually can render it. So, what's up then? Okay, so there's a lot more people in here right now. I gotta look who's here. I gotta say hi to everybody. We get Hot Rod, we get Ilfo, we get Steep and Deep Outdoors. Aloha, and let's get back to that chat and what we have here. 6K is much better for one sensor, period. Yes, I agree with that. The 1-inch sensor is amazing. You can get some amazing quality out of it. I will send some ND filters, and these ND filters are a must for this drone. So if you want to pick it up, include these ND filters, because these ND filters are amazing. I just finished filming the video for that, and it will probably go online one of these days. Either tomorrow or maybe Saturday night. It will go online, and just to get the cover on it, so you guys can see it better. Can you guys see it? I know it's get a reflection on there, but these filters are great. They're so good. They come with 4, 8, 16, one CPL, and then the other ones are all polarized 8, 16, 32, and 64. And they're super easy to put on, even like on the go kind. They're super easy to go on. Where, oh, I'm stuck. Uh-oh. Live stream. My gimbal cover is stuck. How's that? My gimbal cover is stuck. Oh dear. Oh yeah. What's going on here? Okay. So, anyways, back to this part. So usually when all the arms are unfolded on this, I'm messing up with it. These freaking wires in my way. I gotta get me one of those wireless headsets. There we go. Don't need this no more. So you pretty much hold it in place and then you can just unscrew it. But everything will be inside the video as well. I changed out pretty much all of them and I think they're great. The one thing that I didn't understand with these filters is that you can actually rotate it and you can pretty much like they're variable filters, yeah. So when you rotate this, it comes like really dark. You probably can't see it right now, but it comes like really dark down to like minimum, which is really good because then you can bring the drone down, you rotate a little bit, you look at the imaging, the live imaging on your controller, and you're gonna see that, oh, okay, this is perfect. I shot yesterday footage against the sun, and the clouds and stuff that you catch with that is freaking amazing. I totally love it. So yeah, so if you want to pick up the 6K, definitely pick up ND filters. It will do good for you in the end game of that whole stuff. All right, let's see. Mine showing up today. I wish I had the 6K. I have the 8K. Yeah. Um, Sometimes I've seen some people that actually sold the 8K and invested a couple of $100 more to pick up the 6K, and I've seen other people actually selling their DJI and picking up the 6K gimbal only, which is $1,000. So what else we have? Mine show up today. Yes, sir. I like silly plus informative, like you, Dan. Yeah, I like that. That is cool. Hey, you don't know the power of your own Haka arms. You broke it. You're a savage. Yeah, it's everything is tiny. Yeah, like I'm a pretty big guy, so everything seems to be very tiny. It's so nice to help out. Yes, I have to say it. I know Dan and Ken have some issues, but I can't be any more grateful than he literally gave these for free to me. He sent them to me, signed my box as I asked him to. I'm really stoked about that. And these filters are making a huge difference for me. I totally love it. So therefore, yeah, that's a big thank you. I actually sent him out his beer, like because I guess you cannot mention alcohol within this stuff. So I sent him out his beer, and yeah, I'm. Oh, it's the filter. Okay, so these ND filters, if you have these polarized ones, the filter makes this cap in the front. We just learned something. Live stream, guys. So there's this part in the front. It gets stuck on this ND filter. So I got to be careful with that. I didn't know that. I don't even know how it went on the first time. That's weird. Okay. Any issues with the battery life or still getting over 30? Oh, yeah. I don't have no problems with the batteries. I get a total of like, I'd say like 200 flights already with this sucker. And I get like 270 something miles. I have no issues with the batteries. I charge them up. I make sure they're always charged. I just finished up like 4 of them today, charged them up, and as you can see, they're all still working perfectly. I get easy 30 something miles. I mean 30 something minutes out of that. Let's see. I'm getting behind in the chat. Still chickens. Alrighty. Any issues with the battery life? Yeah, like I said, no issues with the battery life. 8K filters is a must. They do not install as easily though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an 8K, so this is pretty much what I can show you. It's like you unscrew it, and I have it in my upcoming ND filter video as well, 46K. And if you purchase these Freewell ND filters, they're really good. They're really worth it. I wish they would have. I don't know why, but if companies think about it, or if it would interfere with the lens or whatever, but I don't understand why they can just put like a magnetic ring that you screw on. So all you have to do is take it off, pop it back on, take it off, pop it back on, because these gimbals are very sensitive. Yeah. So another thing that I suggested in a video as well is turn off your drone, because don't leave it on. I left it on at some point because I held just the filters in front of it, in front of that lens, just to show the difference in between the different ones. But I suggest if you want to change it out and you gotta unscrew it every time and screw it back on, turn off the drone and then restart it after. Hi everyone. What's up, Tion? Some of you guys' names I can't pronounce you guys' names. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I'll send you something better than filters. I'll send you a year's worth of supply of condoms. You can thank me later. Yeah, condoms would be too late now. I have 5 kids, my friend. Rubber glove does the trick. Ooh. Okay, cat. How did I type it there? Hello, host. Yes. Hello, CTN. Thank you for coming. Yes, with Auto be making a controller like DJI asked. I am constantly emailing them about that. I keep asking them, but they're not giving me a freaking answer. These guys. I texted Taylor. I emailed David, and they're not answering. So I'm not sure if they're in the making of something. I know that there will be new products coming out, definitely, because they have been announcing some stuff. I think on their website the other day in the forum, something was going on. Somebody was mentioning something about add-on parts and some other things. And I think they're coming out. I'm not sure if it was true, but I read somewhere in a Facebook group that somebody said static propellers, so you would have to just put them on, take them back off, which I guess would be cool. Not quite sure what's the difference between these fold-up propellers and the static propellers are, if there would be any issues, or if it's more solid or better flight quality. I have no idea, but hey, I would look definitely into it. So, what's up, Dad Random? You know, any remote controllable accessories that you can attach and perform delivery? Wait, do you know any remote controllable accessories that you can attach and perform delivery? Just one filter to buy. Which one would you buy? 16 or 32? I would go with the 16. The 32 is really, really dark. And the 16 lets you still play around with the aperture and the ISO and stuff. The 32 is really, really, really dark. So yeah, remote controllable accessories. Okay, so if you mean like a line dropper and stuff that you want to take it out for fishing, I know that Drone Worship has a video about that because he dropped the parachute. So I'm not quite sure where you would attach that here though, because there's one thing that I got to tell you guys. So there's so many sensors and lighting and stuff, unless you're blocking off this light where you could attach this thing. But other than that, I don't think you're going to be able to mount it anywhere. So that would be one of the biggest issues. There is one thing though, if you guys cruise around for Autel EVO 2 accessories, there is this weirdo ass strap right here. Oh, I just swore on my freaking video. There is this weirdo strap right here, and that's supposed to go around the body, and you're supposed to mount something on the top, like so. Do not buy this thing. This thing almost cost me my drone. So I'm gonna show it to you live right now because it's in my accessory video that is coming out, and I'm still waiting for another accessory. So that's why I didn't finish it yet. I know I promised that it would be up, but I'm sorry. So you pretty much put this here, and then you choose your side of where to put this, and you go around. The first thing that I don't like about it already is that when I mount this on, that you apply sort of pressure to your drone and pushing down on these arms. So now this thing's supposed to be on top, right? Just like this, and you gotta be able to put like a camera and stuff, mount this bad boy on top, whatever. And then these things, if you guys can see it, supposed to not interfere with The sensors. That's a lie. They do. My drone didn't want to land. Like literally didn't want to land. It had issues. It was down to the ground and it was spooling up the motors. Do not buy this. I say it again. It's really cheap. It's like $8 or $10 or some stuff like that, but it's total rubbish. So if you really want to mount something on the top, use something that you can glue with double-sided tape to the top over here and it mounted with that. But I also found out that because this camera weighs about 140 grams with battery and all these extra mounts and stuff, and I think all the action cameras are pretty much the same. It's too much weight for this drone. This drone is trying to recompensate for everything, and she starts drifting, wearing off, so you will not have a stable flight with it. So I don't recommend mounting anything over 80 grams extra on top of this drone. So that's pretty much like what I found out. But this, don't buy this. I cannot stress this enough. Don't buy this damn thing. This is terrible. This is total rubbish, man. So yeah, I almost crashed it. So I kept going revving on about this right now. Now I got to read the chat again. Your life, one day back to school, Dad random. Yeah, I know, right? Freaking my kids just was about to schedule to go school, and then now it's all home learning. They just canceled it all because we have like a uprising in numbers. And did you say you get a white dot in the center of your footage when doing a smart orbit? No, I did not say that. Let me pull it up again. Okay, right here, and let me share it. Share the screen. There we go. Share. There we go. So, let's say you go into smart orbit and you do your stuff here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse on the screen, but there is that square. I mean that crosshair that I have indicated for me for record stuff, and it literally makes a small circle. Like that's what the center point is of this drone during smart orbit. So if you have a white dot, you should check in your settings. It might be the crosshair dot that you have in your options. I don't know if they have crosshairs. They have different versions, I think, of different things that you can actually put on. So, but this center is pretty much like it's like a bigger center. Like it's not just that the crosshair will stay at that point. It will go around that. So, yeah. So on those kind of things, gotta watch out. Let's see what else we have. It's gone as soon as I released it. The parachute was like toodaloo. Yeah, I was really looking forward to see the parachute fly, my friend. It ended up behind the trees. To make the bouncing even harder. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. Teal man. All right, got it. You guys want a universal bait drop system that runs on its yeah. So drone worship probably can tell you. I'm not a fisherman. I use green bait. I go to the store, I give him my dollars, and I like to fish. Yes, but they call it a drone drop system multi-purpose. Okay. Watch your video on why Autel is the best drone, and I was sold. I was going to go cheap with DJI Mini. It depends on what you start for. You know what I mean? Like I recommend the DJI Mini to a lot of people who want to get into droning because the DJI Mini has still 2.7K, and to be honest, anything over 2.7K, you're gonna end up with 4K and 6K. If you don't have really purpose for it, or your machine is not strong enough to render it, I hardly recommend not to go that high. You know what I mean? Like because if you don't really use it for like weddings, real estate, uh property photography and all that stuff, and you making money off of it to pay this drone, it's not worth it. You know what I mean? Like you can easily fly with a Mavic Air 2, you can fly with a DJI Mavic Mini, and they're all reliable, guaranteed reliable drone. Every drone has issues. You know, I've been saying that before. Every drone has issues pretty much, and you're gonna run into some issues. And sometimes the firmware, like this one, the 2.50 comes out, and it's gonna come up with issues. So going to save money for the EVO 2K. So thank you for saving me dollars. Like I said, I initially might have cost you dollars. This was just my opinion on my experience with Autel, on my way of experiencing how they handled my claim. And it's pretty much, I see a lot of guys crying on Facebook groups and stuff that Autel is not living up to the standards. I have had no issues with these guys, and it was over a 4th of July weekend. And I kept contacting them, and I don't think it has anything to do with the videos because I didn't mention my videos at all. So they weren't aware of me having a channel until I told them who I really was and that I did make videos about it. So yeah, that was my experience, and that's the reason why I blasted it afterwards on Facebook, on YouTube, and whatnot, on social media. That I believe that is the drone for 2020, because Mavic Air, I mean DJI didn't come out with the Mavic 3, and I don't think they will be in the near future. It's gonna be a while, probably sometime spring next year. So for 2020, in the higher price class, to have a more industrial type of a professional type of drone, the Autel EVO 2 definitely is my go-to. So jacked up my Evo, yaw drift, horizon issues, and console. See, we get Ricardo right here. No, never had issues. See, and that's one of those people that have issues with that stuff. So I did a rollback on all my firmwares, and I rolled it back to literally factory, updated it afterwards, and I went to 2.33, and I had no issues. And then I ended up 2.50. But the problem was that the original drivers for certain functions just don't revert back. They stay at 2.50 or whatever you just updated to. So even reverting back might not even give you that issue. So I'm not quite sure what causes it, or if it was because of that EXP and sensitivity stuff that it interferes with the regular steering of everything. Because in 2.33, even though the drivers are still within the firmware version, because you don't have these EXP settings, the drone had no issues hovering. And then I seen for myself with the 2.50, as soon as the EXP settings were available and the sensitivity was available, that's when I had hover issues, and she started wearing off. And it's usually when you have an obstacle on the left, on the right, and the front, she goes away from it on her own. And it's slightly, but it's still there. And it's not supposed to be that way, because sometimes you start up somewhere and or you want to hover there for a second to go into a different mode, and boom, she starts hovering off and she ends up somewhere in the bushes, trees. Hey, that's a firmware issue. That's a big controlling issue. So yeah, so he's one of them that actually has issues like that. And I've seen a lot of people having that problem. Now, with some people that I've seen the claim, like, oh, she dropped out of 10 feet out of the air. Those kind of things, I actually looking at it, when you look at those things, I actually believe that they didn't clip in their propellers the right way, because that's one of my suggestions. They might have not clipped it in, because when you look at the 2.5 update, they came out with this stuff. Oh, make sure that your propellers are installed correctly and clipped in the right way and all that stuff. And for those of you guys who didn't know yet, these propellers have markings, and it's pretty easy, because there's two propellers that look like this that have no marking. The center is like black, black. Now, when you look at the next one, this one right here, this one has a marking on the inside. It has like that white ring right on it. Shit, I'm blocking it. I swore again. God damn it. So it has like this white ring inside there. So now those white rings belong on one side, which is the right rear and the front left. And the ones without anything is the left rear and the right front. So with that being said, though, when people installed their propellers, they didn't clip it in completely. And I think the propellers just flew off and poof, and then the drone dropped out of the air. And yeah, the other thing is that these propellers are marked, but the motors are not. So be careful when you take off your propellers, that you're aware of which one it is. So I would actually suggest maybe make a marking here, like a white X on your motor. I know it doesn't look nice, but at least you're gonna know where the white markings go for your propeller. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? Similar problem, Ricardo. See, steep and deep outdoors has. I'm not a fan of DJI geofencing. Neither am I, and that's the reason why I had to go with Evo. I have a lot of airports around me. I have a lot of no-fly zones around me, and I have to revert to drones such as my Paradigm Afi, the Autel EVO 2. Plus, I'm more like the rebel kind of guy. I don't like really go for like corporate companies, like the monopoly of things. I want to see if the smaller guys that come up from the bottom, if they can deliver for the amount of money they're asking, or and I want to help out by purchasing their products and see if that helps, because every drone that we buy, guaranteed, because looking at it, made in China and all that stuff. I don't think that this drone costs $2,000 in production. In production, it's probably like $100. So they're making a lot of money off of it, but they have to do delivery, pay their staff, do all kinds of stuff, and come up with all kinds of things. And then, of course, having the returns and all that stuff. So there's a lot of money involved in this whole thing. And right now, the market goes pretty much for that, that this is the price class. So within its price class, as of now, this one is the drone to go to. Okay, boys, look where it's time to burn my face under the covers for me. All right. Yeah, take it easy, Dan. Hoping for a fix very, very soon. Yes, me too. I'm hoping for a fix, definitely. I should talk nerdy about drone stuff. Support. I'm sure if you talk nerdy about drone stuff, support might take it seriously. Uh Not necessarily. I'm just nice on the phone and I try to, I even though I'm upset about certain things that things are broken. Of course I'm gonna get angry more on the phone if they're not trying to help me. But they never made the appearance that they're not trying to help me. They always came up with stuff. They sent me free propellers right off the bat. They thought it was a propellers and they said, "Oh, try out these propellers. Don't fly. Please don't fly your drone until you get the new propellers." And I had my new propellers and boom, it came back. And I was like, "Oh, okay." It came back and I explained it and I told him, "Okay, still have the vibration in the arm." And then that's when I finally inspected my arm closer. And I'm not the type that wants to bend and twist and kink stuff in order for find out what's wrong with it. Yeah. So, but they helped me out and tried rolling back. It wouldn't let me. Yeah. So there's like a reset process that you have to do. I downloaded everything to uh my SD cards and all that stuff, like these things, SD card here, and I plugged it in with the USB stick into the controller. I plugged in the SD card into the drone, rolled it all back to how it was originally, and I hunted down all these drivers. And I saving a lot of drivers too. Anytime there's a new firmware, I actually download to my computer and I save that version on my computer so that I have the current versions so I can re-roll back if I wanted to. Now, for reroll back on this one, there's no real option on it because when you try to install it, it's going to tell you that, oh, the newest version is already installed. Well, I go back and I reset it back to factory, like full on. It's a long process, but it's possible. On your other video about props, giving you, is there a specific flight time before props need replacement? Actually, there isn't because these propellers itself, unless they're getting damaged through contact with anything, according to Autel, they're pretty much like lifetime. They will never have to be replaced unless you eat it with it, unless you crash with it. They're very convinced about their product, and so far, I can say they're pretty much right about it because I have been flying these propellers for like 240 flights or 200 flights for like 270 miles. I have no issues whatsoever. Elaine, did Auto give you an answer about fixing the new firmware? No, they haven't given me any answer about the firmware. So they haven't said anything. And I'm not directly in contact. I'm just like you guys. I'm emailing them, telling them about the problems, telling them, and I pretty much like send them like screenshots of the Facebook groups too, and I see stuff, and I tell them I'm pretty sure they have somebody who looks over all these things. So probably a large majority of the 10-foot crashes caused by VRs, vortex rings, helicopter by setting the power. It might be, but usually for small things like this, I mean, we get prop wash and all that stuff. That I'm kind of amazed about this drone that there's not really that much vibration in there with prop wash. But the 10-foot crashes, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities. And people who are crying about it at all and not doing nothing about it, sometimes I think they are only telling part of the story trying to get there. And then if they don't get their way, then they just cry on social media. Nope, no answer. Send Autel everything and still haven't heard back from them. Yeah, I remember DJ Autel had a copyright war on them propellers. Yes, and that was actually because of the mounting part, and that was because Autel came up first with it, and they actually did what you call that? The patent. They patented it first. They were the first to patent this stuff, and yeah, there was some big dollars for Autel. So rollback, it's a long. Okay, the rollback part is. I can make a video on it, but to explain it right now, it's a long process. Where I have to literally like go into the firmware and I have to literally do all this stuff. I'm gonna come up with a video for that. I promise. On my motors to match the props. Yeah, see, I don't have that white ring on my motor. That's the funny part. My motors all look the same. Trying to, besides the fact took them forever to get them used. Yeah, well, the Evos took a while to get out because we had COVID-19. China was locked down. Majority of their parts is already manufactured in China as well. I mean, nowadays everything is made in China. You know what I mean? Even parts for cars and motorcycles made in China, and then it just bring it here and it's assembled in the United States, but it's not made in the US. To work things out for me. Have you noticed that the left rear arm on your drone doesn't fold in as far as the right rear? When folded in, my arm on one side sticks out further than the other, looking at it from the front. What? Yes, that's correct. Why is that? I didn't even look at that. So apparently, you have one arm sticking out further than the other. I have a dog hair in here. Are you serious right now? So there is apparently when you look at it, this side sticks out further than that side, but you literally have to really look at it. So I don't know if you can even see that in here, but this side sticks out further than the right. So, but yeah, it doesn't cause any flight issues. So, I, yeah, but I never even noticed that. You guys are crazy. I like that. Yeah, that's only the 8K. If the Mavic Air 2 is half the price of the Evo 8K, but both have the same sensor, why is the Evo worth it? The 8K itself, I think the Evo itself is just worth it because it has interchangeable gimbals. You can change from 8K to the dual, you can change from the dual to the 6K and vice versa and so forth. The Evo 2 series itself, I think, is just worth it in itself because you can exchange those gimbals if you're in a market for it and if you need those things. The 8K, I think, was just a sales gimmick because who renders 8K? I mean, not even YouTube comes up with stuff where YouTube says, oh, yeah, we're going to accept 8K videos because it's going to blow up their servers, you know, file size wise. Resolution wise, it's good to punch in and stuff, but 8K, I think, is a little bit overkill. The sensor size, on the other hand, on the 6K is really good. Like I said, for me, the Mavic Air 2 was not really good because of the geofencing and because of the possibility that you can fly certain areas here. But other than that, the Autel series in itself is good because you can exchange gimbals, yeah. And DJI hasn't brought any of that. How much did the 6K Pro Bundle version run? It's running right now 2K, I think. $2,000 right now. I've seen it on Amazon for $2,000. Comes with the rugged bundle. It's not the GPC case though. The GPC case is different from the rugged bundle that Autel sells. It's a little bit smaller, not as big, and it doesn't have that blue foam. It's just a black foam. So I did everything but plug USB into the RC. Yeah, there's a USB into the RC, into the remote control, and you gotta put the micro SD. You gotta put the version on the micro SD as well to put into the drone to have both of them run afterwards so that she can refer off of that stuff. I wonder if that is what is causing the stress fractures that people are experiencing. That's a good question. But stress fractures itself, like from you mean from transport? Because they're as far as I've seen their stress fractures on their quads, it's on the side. I've seen a lot of guys with things over here on the sides, and let me tell you, when I fly the complete 30 minutes or 35 minutes that I can make with this drone, hey, that thing come warm. Like really, it comes really hot. Like uh temperature wise, this thing comes hot. So I'm not quite sure if it's maybe a temperature difference because it's dissimilar of inside and outside temperature, and you have the plastic only separating it. So I'm not quite sure about that. But I have 200 flights on this one, and I don't have any stress fractures yet. But they might come up because we have a lot of heat here. I have a scratch on any here. Oh no, what is it? The hell is this? I have so much stuff going on over here. Yeah, and it's like it might be because of the temperature difference from battery, because these batteries come really hot when they in there and you flew the whole 30 something minutes. So the body might come really hot, and then maybe the outside is really cold. Let's say they fly them during late or early mornings when it's really cold. Some places get like 40 degrees, 30 degrees, you know what I mean? So it might be that. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that part out yet, and I hope that it doesn't happen to me. So yes, good theory. I'm getting a small stress crack to above the SD slot at the seam. What? You guys are kidding me. Now you're gonna make me look all the time. I do not have any stress crack fractures here yet, so but there's a lot of venting going on. Like they have let me open this. They have a lot of vents right here. You look, a lot of vents right here. They have some vents down there. So that's a lot of hot air trying to escape to get out. And like I said, it might be the environmental stuff from the outside, where it might have issues with everything. So I mean, it's after all, it's just plastic. Putting it in a GPC case for the rugged button, it puts stress on it. Does it? Mine's one doesn't. It just slides straight in. The only part that I had is sometimes these propellers. How can I show this? These propellers, they flap out, and then by the time they flap out and you put it down, it's a little bit stress on the motor arm here. So you got to be careful when you putting those back. But that's why I doing the budget accessory stuff where it get this part right here where you actually got to be able to put it around your drone uh, to secure those propellers. And this thing is actually pretty darn good. I actually like it because it's made for the shape. It's gonna take you a few minutes to figure it all out to put this thing on. And but once you got it all on, it actually does fit into the GPC case as well. I'm not really a big fan of it, liking it in the GPC case, but for like transporting within the backpack and stuff, I think this thing is pretty good because it protects everything very good and it doesn't have you flop you around your propellers. So this one I can recommend. It's gonna be in my upcoming video with the budget accessories once I get all my accessories. Yeah, 8K is just overkill right now. Maybe in 10 years from now it'll be irrelevant. Yeah, they said the same thing back then about CD, yeah, when it kind of like what did it replace? Cassettes. So yeah, we still not have the connection for the iOS. That I can't tell you that because the iOS I don't use anything Apple. I'm total anti-Apple kind of guy. I don't use Mac. I use all Android and PC, Windows, and all that. I don't know. You can't. Two Samsung, two 970 SSD, 12 terabyte for large storage, and 49-inch ultra wide monitor. Right there. Anything. Okay, yeah, you have a killer machine right here. So for rendering that stuff, it's gonna be really good. I'll be flying mine in the winter up here, and yeah, see what happens. Yeah, so just be careful. Like winter time. I don't even know if they send this yet to Europe or whatever, if it's available in Europe. But yeah, these things. Like I said, there's a temperature difference, and they come pretty warm. So, but I wouldn't see why you can't fly it during cold temperatures. I mean, yeah, the stress fracture, I guess. And I heard prior to that, there's a lot of people complaining about the EVO 1 and the plastic they use. Yeah, certain plastics that they use is really, I guess it's too hard. It might dry out, gets dry rot to it, and then it just breaks. And yeah, so let's see. Do we have anybody left within the chat right now? Participants? Yes, we still get hot rod, steep, steep and deep outdoors. So yeah, so pretty much this was it. I didn't even get to talk to you guys about COVID. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all coming by. I hope I could help you out. It was a nice talk about the issues with the 2.50. And my next videos that coming up is budget accessories, the ND filters, and one more for my YouTube series. So stay tuned for that one. I appreciate all you guys coming by, and I appreciate you guys still staying here. So I'll see you guys around. Don't forget, COVID-19 is still out there to get you. So wear your mask, wash your hands, and right now, apparently cases are rising. So everybody be safe out there. And I'll see you guys next week, Thursday. Okay? Take it easy, everybody. Aloha. Wait, hang on. Almost clicked the button. One more thing. Can you get them to give us a slider for Zoom? I wish they would, because I just seen it. Was it DJI with the Mavic 2? I think I seen on FlightPath's video that they actually did something where you could program this button for go back and forth, hold it for have the digital zoom. Yeah. So um I'm definitely gonna ask them for it. So, and yes, please hit the like button. It's much appreciated. Yeah. So yeah, the Air 2, that's the one. I seen it on FlightPath's video. So FlightPath, I actually texted with him. Hopefully you're gonna be one of my guests one of these days. And then I sent a message to Drone Valley as well, but they're all big guys, you know what I mean? Who am I? All right, you guys. Thank you very much for coming by. End of broadcast. You take it easy, everybody. Aloha.